everyone, Dr. Beth Westie here, and really excited to talk about more info from my book, The Female Fat Solution. I'm so grateful to all of you who have gotten a copy of the book and are diving in. There's so much great information in here. I talk about the history of nutrition, how research is done on men, and how women are just following that information, you know, because that's what we have to follow. And then I really dive into some different hormones for women, and then how to eat for your different hormones. So one picture that I posted earlier, just a little bit ago, it really talks about just some generalizations for nutrition for hormones. And I want to expand on that because I've gotten a few questions and how that relates to actually your basal body temperature. So the basis of all of this information is from Eastern medicine philosophy. So I'm certified in acupuncture and Eastern medicine, and I specialized in fertility and women's health issues. So that was my specialty in that realm and what I did a lot of acupuncture for. Very cool stuff. Very cool stuff. But when we talk about female hormones, the hard thing is that it's not the same for everybody. It's not the same protocol. It's not like cookie cutter all the time, and it can be really frustrating because the timeline is a long time. So when you go through a month, like it takes 3 months, 3 of these 12 weeks to really have your hormones be impacted positively and change and shift and have something, you know, more permanently imprinted on your body. So that's a hard thing to deal with. So for example, when you're looking at something or looking at working with something in the body and you sprain an ankle, okay, all right, we sprained an ankle. What do we need to do to help that ankle get better? And it's pretty much kind of the same protocol for a lot of people, right? Maybe little variations on how badly it was sprained. But for women and hormones, it's not the same for every person. It's not the same for every woman. So that's the really hard thing about, it's frustrating to try things and then not see any results. So when we talk about nutrition and matching your food for your hormones, here's the basis and kind of some things to think about. And then sometimes tracking your basal body temperature really helps you figure out where you're at and where you're trying to shift or move things to. So I talk about the generalization, right? Every body is different. Your cycle may be different than somebody else's. And the 28 days is, again, the generalization. But maybe yours is 32 days. Maybe yours is 40 days. Maybe yours is 20 days, and that's normal for you. If it's normal for you, great. If it's not normal for you, then that's something different that you want to try and get within that range. So here we go in the first, and again, these are averages. This is not exact, right? If you look up charts, and that's the other frustrating thing, is that if you look up charts on this information, they're kind of a lot of different, you know, charts out there. You'll be like, well, they're sort of similar, or they're kind of the same. Yeah, because it's not the same for everybody. So that's the biggest difference here. Day 1, first day of your period. Day 14 is about when you ovulate. Day 28 is when it ends and then starts all over again. So the blue here is estrogen. Now, people call this, you know, like there's a follicular phase and a luteal phase and all those things. And I don't get into that terminology because for most people, it doesn't mean anything, right? They're like, oh, I don't know what phase it is. You know, just know, okay, my body has higher estrogen here, so that's what I refer to it as. And then right around here, you know, your body's going to be higher in progesterone. You still have progesterone present here. It's just higher here. This is about, again, how it goes. Progesterone. So estrogen, progesterone. And then that chart that I kind of put out there, just basic ways to eat. So the blue is the estrogen is cooling, really helps estrogen work better. And then progesterone is warming. So estrogen is carb burning, progesterone is fat burning, and everything else. Now how your basal, if you're like, ooh, where do I start? Or I'm not sure, or my body feels a lot of whack. I had a couple of kids and I'm really trying to be healthy. I'm eating healthy. I'm doing all these healthy things. It's not working though. It used to work. Before I had kids, I did these workouts and I followed this nutrition plan and it was fantastic. And now I'm doing the same things and it's not working at all. And I feel like I'm crazy and driving myself crazy because I'm not getting these results at all. Oh, what's wrong with me? It's not you. Your body just needs to get a little stronger and healthier. So when we're following this, if you're like, where do I start? How do I know where I'm at? And what's the best thing to do? You can start tracking your basal body temperature. So basal body temperature, you can go get a chart at the store. You can go to Target or wherever and get a basal body temperature kit. It'll come with a thermometer, it'll come with a little chart, all these other things. You can also just print off a chart from the internet, like a blank, say blank basal body temperature chart. Boom, there you go. Sometimes, you know, I'll see basal body temperature thermometers are more expensive than regular thermometers. It's just a thermometer. You don't need to buy a special expensive thermometer. It's just a thermometer, right? But I know, right? It's like wedding stuff. Like, oh, is this a regular candle? It's $2. Oh, it's a wedding candle? It's $20. So where, right? Okay. So basal body temperature is just you, when you wake up in the morning, the first thing you do is take your temperature and take it around the same time every morning. You know, so say you wake up at 6, so before you get out of bed, before you drink water, before you really do anything, you wake up, and if you have an alarm or something, so turn off your alarm, grab your thermometer, take your temperature, write it down or chart it. Boom. Then you're tracking your basal body temperature. There it is. So it's just your core body temperature first thing in the morning when you wake up. Say on the weekend you wake up at 7 or something, is that a big deal? No, it's not a big deal, but also kind of keep track of that. So overall, when you're mapping your basal body temperature, you'll see it is lower here, and then it should drop and spike and then be higher here. And it's not going to be exact every day, right? Like you might notice, oh, I'm plotting some points here. It's kind of going up and down, but if you average them, they end up about the same. Same thing here. I'll draw these a little bit bigger. Oh, look, overall they're kind of here versus here, right? Does that make sense? So you're more taking the math class, this is where, right? So I took art like in 7th grade. I think that was my last art class. But I took a lot of math and science. So I'm like, I get to chart and graph things? Awesome! But overall, so all it is, writing it down, putting it on the graph, and then figuring out kind of what's in the middle ground here. And if it's lower here and higher here, you're doing good. If it doesn't follow that pattern, if for some reason it kind of goes up and then comes back down again, and this might get messy here as I do this, but then you know your progesterone needs some help and you're not getting into that phase. So not that it's not working or that, you know, you just really need to focus then on those warming foods a lot more. For some gals, they're flatlined through the whole thing, and then your body's not shifting over. Women's bodies are meant to go through this phase. When people talk about hormone balance, a lot of times you're just thinking like a scale being balanced. Women's bodies aren't designed to do that. Our bodies are designed to go through this ebb and flow every month. And you can use nutrition to imprint on your body to help those hormones do that. Your hormones and your body is very adaptable. And this is so true for women. If you know what I'm talking about, where you're college, move in with a bunch of friends, female friends, and all of a sudden you guys are all in the same cycle. You know, I was on a lot of, you know, sports teams and things like that, all in the same cycle. And it just happens. And it's because your bodies sync up together. You can use it, your body can do the same thing with your nutrition. It is amazing the results that you can get. So know that with tracking your basal body temperature here, I want to make this a darker line so you guys can see it better. So this is the basal body temperature here. So messy right now. But that's the biggest one that you want to be tracking to follow. If you're like, okay, I'm struggling. I want to do this warming and cooling thing. I want to eat for my hormones. I want to get the benefit of the hormones and get that under control. You know, I want to say it's an easy thing to do. Just every day you're thinking about it. Okay, where am I at? Am I on day 8 here? Great. Or if you're like, I'm not quite sure if I've ovulated yet. You know, maybe I have, maybe I haven't, or I should have ovulated by now. Great. If you're on day 15 and you're like, I'm really trying to make sure that I get my progesterone going, boom, switch to warming. switch to warming, start adding spices, start drinking hot coffee, adding in like lemon and ginger into your water during the day. Whew, there you go. You're really increasing the warming phase of your cycle. And again, but tracking that basal body temperature gives you that kickoff point of, okay, here's where a problem is, or here's where I'm, needing an issue or needing to meet or find a solution for an issue that I'm having. Because that's a lot of gals that are like, I don't know, or I just feel like I'm all over the place. Okay, totally get it. And that happens a lot. So tracking basal body temperature or knowing where you're at. Okay, I know my period started a week ago, so I should be here. Okay, then just start from there and go from there. There's a lot of easy ways to do it. Sorry, my dog again. So excited. I know. You get so excited when I do videos. I don't get it. Yeah, okay. This is what it is. It's his disgusting ball that he slobbered all over. So, all right, so let me know if you guys have any questions on this. This is the base information for women eating for their hormones. Again, I want to say it's not really new for women. There's women all over the world that eat like this or that follow this type of a pattern for their body naturally. After having kids, they'll fall into sync with this type of a pattern to really help their bodies just kind of kick into gear again after having kids, because it's traumatic on your body to go through pregnancy and childbirth. Traumatic. Yes, I have 3 kids. It's traumatic. So really working on this to get that back. So my book is out. You can get it on Amazon, The Female Fat Solution. If you read it and you would like to give me a review, I would super appreciate that. I have a ton more information on my YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, you can do that. Every video I do gets uploaded to my YouTube channel, so there's so much content there. You can follow any pages I have, and I put out a ton of recipes. I've got some really fun stuff coming up. My website is just www.drbethwesty.com. There's a free 7-day meal plan that goes through a lot of great nutrition things, high protein, carb cycling, intermittent fasting, all those things. And I'll dive into that a little bit more, but I really wanted to get this information out there and really focus on, okay, here's the base. Here's the foundation of estrogen, progesterone, and really, following your basal body temperature. That's going to really help determine where you're at and where to go, or if you're having problems and you're not sure where to start. So if you have questions, you can comment below, you can message me if you're not comfortable commenting. I'm more than happy to answer questions that you have. And then I do have a 12-week program that takes you through all this, nutrition, meal plan guides, everything else. And I have a promo for a flash sale right now. So if you are interested, you'll see it here in the comments. You can click the link and enter that for 25% off. Woo! Fantastic info. Like, women that do this program get amazing results, and some of them are posted there as well. So I'm really excited just to be sharing this information and everything else. So everybody have a great night. That's what I got for you. And we're going to be talking more and more about specifics for estrogen, what your basal body temperature should be, different tweaks you can make in your food and your nutrition, and how to really kick it into gear to get the most out of your body. Woo! All right. I'll see you guys later.